Hello guys, if you have been subscribed to my channel, thank you and welcome back. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Lee and I'll be showing you how to make delicious Asian food. And from time to time, I will show you behind the scene of my life through vlog. And in today's video, I'll be showing you how to make baguette or French bread. Baguette was introduced to Asia a long time ago and it has become one of the most famous snacks to have when we travel from one city to another city. I remember when I was younger, or even up until now, a lot of people still buy the bread for early morning travel. We would buy a whole bunch and that's what we would have for snack throughout our day. And not to let you wait any longer, okay, let's get started. You will need 7 simple ingredients that you can easily find from any supermarket. You need some bread flour, you need some yeast, some butter, some salt, sugar, egg, and also some water. And for this recipes, I use active dry yeast. That means I'm going to activate the dry yeast first before I add it into the dry ingredients. But if you are using instant yeast, you can add everything straight into the flour and mix everything together then. But then I'm going to use the active dry yeast. So I'm going to activate it first with warm water and after add the wet ingredient into the dry ingredients. So I scale the water, I set this to 0. So you will need 1 cup of water and 2 tablespoons of warm water. And here is my 1 cup of water. You need it 250 grams. So that is 1 cup. I'm gonna put 1 more tablespoon and 1 more. It is 250 grams of water, or you can put, like I said, 1 cup of water and 2 tablespoons of water on top of that, and that should bring it up to 250 grams. So now that we got the warm water in here, we're going to add our dry yeast. This is the active dry yeast, and 2 teaspoons or 8 grams. And to activate it better, you need some sugar. This is 1 tablespoon. I'm going to mix all the ingredients together. And after I mix it well, it's not going to dissolve because the active yeast trying to dissolve in the warm water, and it is activated in the warm water right now. So we're going to cover it and let it sit for close to 5 minutes or 5 minutes. And next, we will mix all the dry ingredients, but first I'm going to scale the flour for you. I'm going to set this to 0. You can also measure in cup. This one is 3 cups and a quarters, or you can scale it and equal to 500 grams. This is 500 grams of bread flour. You want to use bread flour because the bread flour, it is more firm and it can rise better without collapsing the bread. 1 teaspoon of salt. Now you can mix all the dry ingredients together. And here is our dry yeast that we activated for 5 minutes. We're going to open it, and after we're going to add other ingredients. And if the yeast is good, you will see this bubbly looking. Unsalted butter, 50 grams. You can warm it up in the microwave for 15 seconds and after put them in so it gets softer a little bit, but you don't want it to be liquidy. You want it to be somewhat chunky like this. So you're going to add it in, and I'm going to add 1 egg. Now you can mix all the wet ingredients together before you add into the dry ingredients. And as for the butter, don't worry, it's chunky like this, and after we're going to mush it in the dry ingredients. Okay, now we can add the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. We're going to pour the whole thing in. use a spatula to mix all the ingredients together first, and after we're going to use our hand to knead the dough. It is going to be a bit sticky from the beginning, but don't worry, because we have some butter in here. It will not going to be sticky for too long after we knead and combine all the ingredients together. So we're going to knead the dough for 5 minutes. And just want to let you guys know that the process to knead the dough, it is going to be really tough. It is really tight. It is not easy to knead the dough because it is really elastic, and the longer you knead the dough, the elastic is going to feel, and that's what you want. So as you are kneading the dough at time it will become sticky, but as it getting almost close to 5 minutes, it will be not as sticky, and the dough will become really soft and really moist. And I'm going to spray the bowl with some oil so that way it doesn't get sticky on the side. Fold it back, make it round, and after we're going to place in here and we're going to spray it. This is oil. You can brush it with some normal cooking oil and then it's smooth. We're going to cover it and we're going to let it rest and rise for 1 hour, and after 1 hour the dough should rise in double size. And another thing that I want to let you guys know, sometimes it may take longer than an hour to rise to double size. The thing is, if your house is warmer, because it rises better when the weather of your home is warmer, but sometimes if the house in your home, the temperature in your home is not that warm, it may take longer. And sometimes if the house have the right temperature at home, like in Asia, I'm sure within half hour the dough should be done already. But then in a country that doesn't get too hot, sometimes you need a full hour, sometimes you need 45 minutes. So as long as it rises to double size, that is done. And here after 1 hour, the dough have rise to double size and it rises so nicely. Let's check it out. Wow. It feels so soft and it's not sticky because we had put some oil. Okay, next we will go straight to deflating them and then cutting them and then roll them to make into a bread shape. And here is my cutting board. I'm going to spray some oil on top so then it doesn't stick. And after we spray it with some cooking oil, we're going to put the dough on here, deflate it. And after we deflate it, we're going to cut it into 6 pieces. So first, cut it in the middle. Move it out a little, and then you're going to cut it. See, let's test it out first. So you want to cut it into triangle shape like this. It's like a pizza shape. We will shape it one at a time, but first we can put these in a tray for now. And it doesn't matter if it's not equal, somehow it's very similar size. And if you really want the equal size, you can scale them, or you can choose to see which one is smaller. You can cut a piece and put on top of here like this. And you know what, it doesn't have to be super perfect. It is homemade and it is going to be good. So here, this is one. We'll start with one first. And so this is triangle. And so in the bottom here, it is really smooth. You want it that way. And after, we're going to use the rolling pin. We're going to flatten it. We're going to take all the air out. And as you can see, this is small here and then it's going to be bigger on the side. And we're going to really flatten it. flatten it. Okay, and as you can see, this side is really smooth. And after, we're going to roll from the small side to the bigger size here. So roll it. You just roll it and pinch on the side. And just like that. And pinch it. And it looks like this. As you can see, this really sealed nicely because on the end here, you made it flatter, so it's going to cover and seal it properly. And it looks smooth because we put the oil on top, so then that's why the bread looks smooth. Here is another one. Since I mixed the dough really soft and moist, I don't need to really cover it. So the dough here, we're going to do it fast enough, and after we're done flatten them and roll them, that's when we're going to cover them. But for now, you don't have to really cover it, just leave it like this, because the recipe that I show you, the dough is not dry, so the dough really moist and soft. Moving on to the next one, and here I put a little piece that I cut on top. That should be okay because you're gonna roll it and it's just gonna combine together. Make this really flat. And after, we're going to roll it in. And pinch it. And we'll do the last one. The last one here. Okay, pinch in the end. And the last one we'll put on here. And that's it. And then we're going to cover it and we're going to let it rest and rise for half an hour. And here is a 2 tray, so this is how it look like, and later on I'm going to show you after it rise up. And here after we let the dough to rest for 20 minutes and we have 10 more minutes, we're going to preheat the oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. You will also need a tray that has some water in there, about halfway. And so the tray, we will place it underneath in the oven, so this way the bread can bake and not get brown too quickly. And here after about 35 minutes, as you can see, the dough of each individual bread has risen so nicely. The bread is so fluffy, it's so light, it's lighter than before, it's not as dense, and it expands to double size. And now we're going to use the razor to cut across 45-degree angle, so that way it will create the ear, like they say, the ear of the bread, right? So you're going to have that classic look. And here is my razor, and when you are using it, when you are slicing it, you're going to do it really quickly. So you're going to cut across like that, and so 45-degree angle. If it is your first time, you may make some mistake, and that is okay. So this opening here, after you razor cut it, it's gonna open even bigger as you bake them or as you leave them. So you're going to do 45-degree angle. We don't want to move it. Okay, so Jaja, you're gonna razor it. So you're going to do 45-degree. You're going to do it this way. You're going to do angle 45 all the way to the end here.
Like this?
You gotta do it quickly. Okay, slice it.
Can't do it.
Okay, I'll show you.
And then I'll do the second one too.
It is quite tricky from beginning when you are using the razor to slice across the dough. You want to put lightly pressure but at the same time push it down but not too hard, so this way your dough will not get stuck in between the razor. And if you messed up, you can also go over the same line and cut it over again. And if it is your first time and if you slicing it across with the razor and you get stuck, don't worry. It is part of it, and as you are doing a couple of them, then you will know the trick on how you can razor it to cut it across 45-degree angle. Okay, that wasn't successful. She doesn't know how to cut it. If it is your first time, it may be hard on this side here. But if you go lightly and gently, but at the same time have lightly pressure and push it down. So this way, because she pushed it down so much that it didn't cut through, but instead pushed the dough inward. You don't want that. So here again, I'm going to show you. You're going to cut across. I'm not sure you guys can see. You're going to cut across like this, push it down. And you will have that pull, but that's okay. You gotta keep on going. You don't want to stop. And even here you get stuck. As you get stuck, you cut it again like that. And after, we're going to spray it with some water because we don't want it to get brown so quickly. We're going to spray some water. Okay, now we're going to place it, and we're going to place it on the top rack. Place it on the top rack. And after, we're going to close it and we're going to bake it on 450 Fahrenheit for 23 to 24 minutes. So we set the timer, 23 minutes for now. And after about 5 minutes in, you're going to spray the oven with some water on top here, so this way it doesn't get too brown too quickly. When there is about 8 minutes left, you can take out the tray that has water, so this way the bread can get brown, otherwise it will not get brown. And here, after exactly 23 minutes, the bread is done. Look at that. Check this out, guys. Look, after we finish freshly baking them, look on how perfectly it turned out. They don't have the exact same size, but the color and the way it looks so crispy and delicious. And as for this one, the deeper you can cut through, use the razor to cut through the dough before you bake them, the more you can create this ear look, the ear of the bread. And comparing to this one, we didn't cut it too deep, so it has the ear too, but just a little tiny short one. The only thing that I'm not quite pleased with is just the bottom is a bit brown, and I know the reason why that it's become so brown like this, because in order for you to bake a really good baguette, you need this baguette tray, and since I am using a normal tray, that is why there's no air that can circulate in the bottom. And if you ever buy those French bread, you'll see those little dots, right? But this one, since it is flat, there's no air. That's why it has the brown, more brown on the bottom compared to the top here. And here, guys, I'm going to cut it to show you. I'm gonna cut it at an angle like this. Look at that. So fluffy. going to open this part and look how this fluffy part. This reminds me of home. I remember when I was younger, I used to eat it by itself like this. And yeah, look at this. So now I'm going to taste some of it. So fresh. Wow. This is so perfect. But the only thing that I didn't like too much, it's the bottom here. How it is a bit too brown. And what you can do, you can use the butter knife to just scrape it off. And that's how you can scrape it off lightly. But if you like it a bit brown like this, then you'll like it. But one day I think that I will buy the baguette tray, so this way you can bake it so much easier. And look at this meat, guys, still hot and fresh. So good. And that's it, guys. I hope that after you watch this video, you can easily make this French bread or baguette for you and your family at home. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share with your family and friends. And if you have any question, you can leave it in the comment box below. I will try to answer the question to the best that I can. And if you are new here, don't forget to press the subscribe button for more delicious homemade recipes. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye for now. Chúc biết lia.